It's Trends O'Clock. This is Trends KE with KK Cedrick.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. This is Trends KE. My name is KK Cedrick. Welcome to the show. And tonight we have a lineup for you. You are going to enjoy the show tonight because we are having a great discussion tonight. We go into some politicking. Pulpit Politicking, that's what we are talking tonight. And we have Nelson Mandela, our great lawyer. You know him, he has been here before. And we have Muthiora Kariara, who is a party leader, TGN. He will be telling us about that. And he will be introducing himself again to the show for the first time. Thank you very much for joining into this conversation and into the whole show of Trends KE, always being our number one fan. We appreciate everything that you do and all the sacrifice you make. So tell your friends to tell other friends that the show is going to be heated tonight. First of all, we get briefly into the trending topics of the week. That's what we are just getting into right now. What has been happening for the entire week? And I want just to tell you what has been happening for the entire week. First, let me remind you of this guy that has been trending online. There is a guy who alikula fare. Very unfair for a guy kukula fare ya jamaa mwingine. How can a man kula fare of another man? That is very unacceptable. So what is being said is that this guy, and he has actually come out to deny, inasemekana jamaa he acted like a lady, then akatumiwa fare na hakuenda, kumbe ni mwanaume. Inauma, but itabidi watu wazoe. So I want to show you the clip of this guy denying that he did not eat someone's fare. A man, thou shall not eat another man's fare. How? Let's listen into what he had to say in his defense.
So, I even don't know where to start. So I'm here to clear up the story of about Kula Fare. I've received a lot of DM. Actually, me did not see that thing. Nilitumiwa na mtu. And then, vile alinitumia, sikuona kama it's something serious. And then, little did I know, my sister called me. So, me that thing, I even don't know where it came from. First of all, I'm not called Justin. I think Justin Kioko. Or something from that. Something like that. My name is Kelvin Kinuthia. So story, Justin Kioko, mimi sijui. I don't know. Second thing, I'm not from Machakos. So, ukisema Justin Kioko and then you say I'm from Machakos. Third thing, I'm not a Kamba. I'm a Kikuyu. So,
how does a man eat another man's fare? Unfair. We are not going to accept that. But in his defense, anasema ya kutumiwa pesa yoyote. That's what has been happening online. I don't know what your views are about that. And those who are just joining us, that discussion is coming up next in just a few minutes to come. Something else that has been happening online, I think all of you must have seen this guy. Kuna jamaa amekuwa celebrity because he's doing some comedy while selling mitumba on the streets. So let's have a listen to this latest clip that was
Ngara waseme unapenda wa baba. Ngara waseme unapenda wa baba. We don't give a about it, baby. Ngara, we kazi yako iwe kungara tu. Kazi iwe kungara, baby. Kazi iwe kungara. Waanze kuongea. Oh, nani siku hizi anapenda wa baba. Don't give a about it, baby. We ngara tu. Oh, no.
Who gives a I don't give a but wanasema mungare mpaka waseme mnapenda wa baba. That guy actually, he was flown to Nairobi and he was, I think it was today, on Bonga na Jalas. Hiyo jamaa amekuwa celeb sahi. In this town, if you want to be a celebrity, just know what you'll do. Then something else that I will take you through very quick before we get into our discussion that has been happening this week. There was in the USA, the Met Gala Festival, where various people were showcasing their attires and were in attendance. But then there are some dress codes that really got the eyes of so many people. First, let me show you this clip, and then we shall get into what KOT, Kenyans on Twitter, did. What they always do. You can never underrate the power of Kenyans on Twitter. First, let's have a look at this. That's Lil Nas X, and Lil Nas X is a guy, but ilikuwa imesemekana ako na mimba, so he showed up to the event kama ameacha mimba kwa nyumba, and he came to the event to continue with it. I don't know how, no, some things are just white people problems which we cannot understand. So that was it. There was so much during that event, and our very own Lupita Nyong'o was there at the event, rocking in some Versace design. Yeah, very elegant there, black and beautiful, our very own Lupita Nyong'o. But then the highlight of the day was this one here by Kim Kardashian. And Kim Kardashian showed up with some guy there. That guy, it was reported that that's not the ex-husband of Kim Kardashian, huyo si Kanye. That was just someone else who accompanied Kim to the platform. And people have really made a lot of fun from that event and that dress code by Kim Kardashian. Even the sister is trying to look for her, but she's nowhere to be found. So another one here. But then after that, then came the KOT. KOT walisema nyinyi kujeni na Met Gala, sisi tutakuja na Met Ngara. This is officially KOT event, Met Ngara. Someone has shown up there, that's Njugush, or Met Ngara, our very own from Kenyans on Twitter. They never disappoint. Look at that guy. Actually, that would be more creative than zile zingine zenye tumeona kwa ile event, because there is a lot of service to the environment from those bottle tops there. Alafu chief mwenyewe akashow up pale kwa Met Ngara. This is the official event of Kenyans on Twitter, Met Ngara. You can see there was a lot there. And then finally, what killed it all is that they decided this guy will be the head of finance. How? Who can accept a head of finance from... Yeah, and now let's just wind up as we get into that discussion that we are having tonight. So if you are here for the discussion, we are going into it just in the next few minutes. But as always, unajua hatuwezi enda kwa discussion kama sijawaambia mawili matatu kuhusu the great Manchester United and Arsenal. So Arsenal waliamua kujitetea. At some point, someone would have thought wameamua kuingia Shaolin Temple, wameanza kufanya sarakasi za kung fu, lakini walijifufua, and they came up with a goal in their last EPL match. But then there is the Manchester United, and there is the Ronaldo CR7, who from one match has more goals than the whole of Arsenal. Nasiko ubaya. I know those guys of Arsenal will be coming for me here right now. So we are getting into that discussion right away. We have our guests on the show, which we are going to be bringing on our guests one by one. Leo tuko na full team. So here we are having our guest Nelson Mandela, lawyer, political commentator. we are having Muthiora Kariara, who is party leader, TGN party. And then we shall also be joined by Moses Tisa, who is live with us tonight as well. So these two guys, Moses Tisa and Mandela, have been on the show. Last time you heard what they had to say. And today Muthiora Kariara is joining us for the very first time. Muthiora, I would like you to kindly introduce yourself to our audience and tell us about TGN Party and its intention getting into the political season of 2022.
Thank you very much, Cedrick, for having me on this platform. It's a real pleasure that today I'm on set with very young and brilliant Kenyans. This is the future of Kenya. And at TGN, we value that very much. TGN stands for the Great Nationhood Party of Kenya, a party that subscribes to social democracy, is underpinned by the Utu philosophy. Utu is that word that you know from Kiswahili, which basically helps to explain the attraction that exists between people, me and you and him, you and her, and also that connection between humans and the environment. That thing that pricks the conscience when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, or that urges you to excellence when you know you still have something left in your tank. So that's the underpinning philosophy for TGN. It's the fastest growing political party, and we are looking for brilliant people like the ones on set today. So I hope I get enough time to woo you guys so you can subscribe to TGN.
Yes, thank you very much for introducing TGN to the public. And I have seen you on various discussions, we are just briefly getting into our discussions later. But tell us, is TGN looking forward to getting into the presidential race? Because I know that last time you were in the race, but as a running mate, and actually you are the only one who showed up to the presidential debate for the running mates. What is TGN planning? Is it planning to be part of the race?
Well, my introduction.
Yeah. You can pick up kindly.
My introduction to national politics came in 2017 during that very famous running mates debate that happened at the Catholic University. But before then, I had been an aspirant, only that IEBC did not clear me among those who eventually went to be on the presidential ballot as presidential candidates. But then God had it that I was to debut as a running mate, and I worked with Dr. Japheth Kavinga Kaluyu, and we ran an honorable race. Now, in 2022, I'll be carrying the flag for TGN. I'm running for president, and will not only be fielding a presidential candidate, but fielding candidates in all the positions that will be on offer. So we'll have MCAs across the whole country. We'll have members of parliament. We'll have women representatives. We'll have candidates for senator and even gubernatorial race. So TGN is going all out, and we hope that we are going to clinch power so we can bring the transformation that this country really needs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me get our good lawyer into this discussion. But first, before we get
Cedrick.
before we get into the discussion of the presidential contention and what has been going around about politicking on Sundays, because nowadays the worship is politics. Every Sunday, the news that comes out of there is what happened in politics. But first, let me just inquire from you about the politics around the security and the whole government handling of security in Laikipia, our good lawyer Nelson, do you think the government has handled in the best way possible the chaos that have been of insecurity in Laikipia?
Thank you so much, Cedrick. Thank you for having me on the show once again. I really appreciate, especially sharing the platform with the great Muthiora here, who should indeed talk to me. I might be instrumental in making him the president, the 5th president of this republic. So it's a good initiative, and
I'm honored.
we wish you all the best, and we hope we'll be able to work together. Should we switch talkers, as they say, politics seduction. Come and seduce us, and if we can be able to take you to the top seat. Now, Cedrick, on your question on politics surrounding security in this country, and it's a very unfortunate situation, because the sole responsibility of a government is to protect its citizens and their property. When we get to a point,
sure thing,
where the government, through the Cabinet Secretary Interior, Matiang'i, says bandits are using more powerful weapons than the police that we are deploying to protect our people, it is a government that is conceding defeat. We pay taxes in this country, we are taxed to death, but the government can come and tell the people of Pokot, the people of Baringo, and the people of Laikipia East and West that even as much as we want to protect from this banditry, these people are using more powerful weapons than the government. It is unfortunate, because the government is supposed to protect the citizen. But if the government is telling you, yes, we would want to protect you, but you're afraid because the bandits are using more powerful weapons. And I'll tell you, this is the real situation. There are 3 things we must address here. The first thing is, why does it happen that we always have this chaos when we are about to have a general election?
Yes.
Number 2, if these people are using more powerful weapons, and from the clips we get and from the people who are getting arrested, from these bandits being arrested, they don't look like they can afford even a Seska pistol. So who is this giving them money or funding them or acquiring these weapons, powerful weapons for them? And number 3, why is it that people are fighting about land? Who are these people who've gone to take the land that belong to these people, whose only source of livelihood is their cattle and livestock? So if these people can't get enough land to graze to the extent that they have to encroach into their neighbor's property, and then fights ensue, who are these people buying tracts of land in thousands of acres in Laikipia and leaving these poor Kenyans lacking a place to graze their cattle? And therefore, Cedrick, I'll answer and tell you this. We may be saying resources the sole cause of this chaos and the banditry in Laikipia. Far from truth. Land is only an excuse, but the main reason is politics.
Thank you.
People are trying to organize themselves.
Yeah. They are trying
let me just finish this point and then... Yes, I'll elaborate on this and then I'll the remaining 2 points later. The politics surrounding this chaos in Laikipia, South Pokot, and Baringo revolves around people sending a message. It's a fallacy with appeal to fear that should you not support us, we'll lynch your houses. Should you not support us, we'll kill you. Should you dare raise a voice against my political ambitions, I'll evict you. So these are the culprits that we need to bring to book. Until somebody is convicted and sentenced for these atrocious acts, we're going to be seeing this as a vicious cycle when we are nearing every election. And therefore, land is not the main problem here. I mean, politics is not the main problem here. Land is.
Thank you very much. And you have said that there is politics being played in this. And I want to bring in Moses Tisa, if you're getting us. Tisa, do you think that politics is playing part in the chaos that have been happening in Laikipia? And if so, who is playing the politics? Tisa, can you get us? I think we are having an issue with Tisa there briefly, but we will be getting him on later. So I want to bring you into this, Muthiora. I know you have followed this issue. Like, is politics playing part, and if so, is politics supposed to be brought in such a serious matter? And who do you think will be playing politics with an issue such as that is affecting so many people?
The problem in Laikipia is a deep one, and unfortunately the solutions we have for land matters in Kenya are kind of using a bandage on a serious deep wound. For once, we decided that we are going to address historical land injustices in Kenya starting from 1963. Yet we know that the colonialists displaced people way back before Kenya even became a country. And even before that, there had been other displacements. So it's not just politics. This is a very deep problem because it's true pastoralists were displaced from Laikipia before independence. And during the period when the colonialists were here. The land leases are coming to an end, and there's going to be a transfer of land ownership in that area. So there are people who have interest in inheriting those lands from the settlers. And those are the people who are using politics as an excuse in this matter. So really, it's deeper than people think. People think it's about 2022, but it's way bigger than that. There are people who want to get into office, and so they are using the tribal card to push other communities out so they can go to parliament. And then when they have the influence, they'll make sure that they get ownership of this. So for once, let us take what parliament, and by parliament I mean Senate, said today through Linturi. He said that the government has been a big embarrassment with regards to the security situation in Laikipia. Remember, they started playing politics a couple of weeks before Laikipia fully erupted, when they changed the security detail of the deputy president. So they are playing politics with security, something that shouldn't happen. Very regrettable.
Yeah, and that has been happening for a while, and it has spread throughout to other sections, and it has extended to other sections as well. And I just want to bring in Tisa, if he can get us right now, so that he can contribute to this matter. So Tisa, we are talking here about the politicization of what is happening in Laikipia. Do you think this is politics? And if so, who is playing the politics? Tisa.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can get you now.
My phone had some issues, but I'm now back.
Yes.
And I hope you can now hear me. First and foremost, say hi to Deputy President Kariara.
Hey, Tisa, how are you doing?
I'm fine, my brother.
Karibu sana. Karibu sana.
And another thing is that I'm happy to join here with you and share with you this evening. And I know we are going to have a very fruitful discussion. I've been having problems with the network, but I'm now fully back.
Yes.
First, you are asking about the insecurity in Laikipia.
Yes.
This is not the first time we are facing this issue of insecurity. Remember, from 2012, 2024, 2014, kuja huku 2017, we had got the Baragoi issue. And it was handled.
Yes.
And it was handled because there was concerted effort towards the same. And the government came in very fast and did what they could do. In fact, those who were suspected to be playing politics around the issue were arrested. Though I don't know whether they were charged, I don't know whether they were convicted, but one thing I know is that they were arrested. The same thing we have seen today with those who are believed or suspected to be part, rather playing politics with what is happening in Laikipia, are also arrested. Some of them are now out on bail. Be that as it may, my brother Mandela has said that politics is playing a very big role in this. And they say that land issue and politics. But he has said something so sensitive that there are those who are saying that if you don't vote for us, if you don't support us, then we will evict you, so that it becomes political, and these things now create tension and turmoil. And I heard you asking that, can I be able to mention those that I think are using this one for political mileage? I wouldn't be able to do that. But we know in this country, those who thrive in violence and those who thrive in chaos and those who survive only when there is chaos. As we speak today, handshake has made it, the country is now peaceful. So nobody, there's no point of pointing fingers at who can be able to bring this and that. But I'm sure that I'm happy that those who are arrested, those who are being suspected to have a hand in what's happening like Laikipia, will have to actually answer Kenyans, or rather they will have a day in court and be able to clarify or to clear the air. If the government knows of anybody, or rather the government knows of anybody who is actually trying to bring problem in Laikipia, let them move very fast and arrest the person.
Yes.
Matiang'i said that the bandits, or rather those criminals, have got sophisticated machines than the one that we have in Kenya, or rather than the one that our security on the ground did not have. He did not say that we don't have such machines in Kenya. He only said that the officers on the ground did not have such machines. And you saw Matiang'i going there, holding meetings, and saying that now going forward, we will see to it that we deal with this issue completely. Let me end by saying this. We should not bring politics into this. I listen to the deputy president trying to cast aspersion and trying to accuse Matiang'i and the security forces. This is the time we now need the DP, the president, to bury their differences and come together and solve this problem. Instead of sitting in Karen and now throwing hands and saying that we should blame this person and that person. If we are going to go that way, then this county is going to head. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Tisa, for your sentiments there. And it's actually a very alarming thing for such pictures that you are seeing that happening around this time when we are just a few months into the general election, and it's something that everyone actually should be condemning. But we shall be moving away from that, although there are some questions people have asked which we shall be coming into later towards the end of the show. But I want to bring you into the discussion of the day that we are having. And let me start with Mandela on this topic. Mandela, I hope you're there and you can get me. We have had the deputy president and many other people visiting churches every Sunday. And I'm mentioning deputy president particularly because up to this time, I made to understand that you lean towards that end. So what is the way forward? Churches, it's most likely that they are getting closed. What's the way forward to politicking?
Cedrick, was that question directed to me?
Yeah, to you.
All right. I don't know why you had to assume that I lean towards the deputy president position, but anyway, before I say the relationship between the church and politics.
But do you or don't you? You should put that clear so that the next time I ask my questions, I know how I'm directing them.
Cedrick, on that question, I plead the fifth.
Yes.
Now, if I proceed, I'll say first, before I come to church and politics, let me just say this. I don't know, but Tisa seems to be holding brief for government and defending Matiang'i. And the point we have to make clear is police officers are not arbiters. The moment you're going to establish, and I had Matiang'i saying they were going to establish a training facility in Laikipia, what we're actually doing is weaponizing the situation.
Yes.
Whoever is funding these people is going to even fund them more, knowing that the police are coming, and we're going to have a very difficult situation to handle. What we need is to arbitrate and find a lasting solution.
Yeah.
We cannot say every time we'll be having these issues, the police will go and establish a training camp there. For how long? We need to find a long-lasting situation. And as much as we're using land as an excuse, we know the main reason is politics.
Yeah.
And if there is any proof, any evidence to point at a particular individual and say, this is the person causing turmoil in Laikipia, let those people be charged. TISA cannot say the government has been holding people responsible. What happened in Baragoi? People were killed, houses were torched, and to date, there is no conviction. So, and we remember police were deployed there, GSUs were deployed, KDF were deployed. We even had some issues saying that we cannot deploy KDF in our internal affairs because they're supposed to be protecting the country, as by law required. But we ended up deploying KDF at Baragoi, and then the situation was quelled, but nobody was brought to book. Nobody was convicted. So if the situation will come again, we still do the same thing. We need to find a long-lasting situation. It should not be a contest between bandits having more powerful weapon and the government going to Israel to get more powerful weapon, and then government fighting each citizen, when we can sit and negotiate and get to know. The problem is land. How do we solve this problem? Who are these people buying land that is communal, that these people are not getting enough grazing grounds? Those are the issues we need to address.
Yes, and kindly now you can proceed to the other topic.
Now let me proceed to the question to do with the church and politics. It's quite uncertain. The church is supposed to issue direction. The church is supposed to direct and say, this is right, this is wrong. But now in the circumstance, we have a church that is at ransom. Cedrick, today, if you announce you're going to vie for an MCA position in your home constituency ward, you are going to be added, before morning, you'll be added to 5 different WhatsApp groups, church fundraising for cement, for iron sheet, for whatever. And when I come to your church, Cedrick, you have a budget of 10 million. You want to construct a new church. And then I give you 5 million. That is already 50%. And then I come to that church. Do you have a moral authority to deny me a microphone to stand on that podium?
And the religious people will tell you that you offer by your heart and you are not supposed to be paid back.
But still the same. This is what is happening,
Yes.
If we know there are some churches that politicians will never show up on a Sunday because they know they'll not be granted an opportunity to speak. We have bishop, very senior bishop in this country. They come to a political rally, they pray at the beginning, people insult each other, and then they come and pray at the end without having to condemn anything. We have churches in this country, when they're having their projects, they're having the church projects with a certain politician in mind. So when this politician comes, these pastors and bishops will have to bow to whatever demand that will be there. So at that point, the church has no moral standing to tell this person, this is wrong, this is right. This is what you can say in this church, this is what you cannot say. And as my brother, there is a senior friend of mine, political analyst, and called Mwangale, said, the moment you give a politician a microphone on an altar, it becomes a podium. You cannot control them. The best you can do is to deny these people an opportunity to address people in those churches. Let them attend like any other person. Should they want to address the congregants, let them do outside the church, because it even amounts to defiling the altar. And to that extent, the church loses its moral standing to give direction, because after all, no churches are taking positions.
Thank you. And let me bring into the show here Muthiora Kariara, and I want to ask you, Muthiora, you have been doing campaigns, I guess, for and popularizing your party, TGN. How many church functions have you attended? And if not, now that the churches are getting close, what strategy do you have of making sure that you are able to get the word out there about your party and its intentions? Muthiora, I don't know if you got me. I had a question for you there, and I think we have lost him just for a while, but as he gets to the discussion, let me bring Moses Tisa into this discussion as well. Tisa, Mandela is saying that people should be kept out of the church. Do you think from where the end where you stand, this is possible to kick politicians out of the church?
So I jump into that.
Yes.
Mandela told us very well that the problem in Laikipia is land, not politics. But because he's in Tangatanga, he's allowed to be confused. Now he's saying that it is politics, not land. Anyway, away from that, let's talk about the matter at hand. It is very true that we should actually separate politics and church. The moment you hand over a microphone to a politician, just as Mandela has put it, it becomes a podium. It is no longer a church. And they lie, they attack each other until the reason as to why people went to church becomes so different.
Yes.
And it is watered down to something else. Actually, when Ole Sapit
Yes.
denied politicians chance to talk in church, that is in Butere,
Yes.
he explained that he did not stop politicians from going to church,
Yes.
but he only stopped politicking in church or politics in church. I've seen politicians actually having issues with that. They are saying, no, we should not be allowed, we should not be stopped from going to church. Malala is saying, oh, church should be allowed, should be open for even prostitutes, thieves. The good bishop did not say that thieves and prostitutes should not go to church. What he said that politics should not be in church.
Yes.
And politicians actually have turned church into podiums. You've asked Kariara questions that he has been going around campaigning and whatnot. That question actually, I think I can also answer it.
Yes.
At home, when you go to these churches and whatnot, the moment you are given that microphone, after you have given your contribution, then that is the airtime. You have to attack your opponent. You have even to lie because politics is about propaganda. You have to say things that are not even in tandem with what took you to church. So I think we should separate church and politics so that we should have time. Politicians should go to church like any other believer. They go there, they listen to what the pastor has to say, they give their contribution, donation kama kuna rambe, let them do it like any other believer. Kama kuna rambe that these guys are supposed to attend, let them do like any other person. Let them go there, give their contribution or funding and whatnot, and then live with the people. If they want to address matters of politics and whatnot, let them do it outside the pulpit, not inside the church. Because if we are going to allow them to do it in church, we are going to actually make church irrelevant and will never address the issues that are supposed to be addressed by the good men of God.
Thank you. And Tisa, they're saying that we are going to make churches irrelevant if we are going to get on with the politicking every Sunday, headlines from politics. And let me just bring you back, Muthiora. We lost you there for a minute. I was asking you this question. What strategy do you have of making sure that you popularize your party and the intentions of the party other than what has become the norm in this COVID-19 era of politicians politicking in church? What is your strategy?
Muthiora Kariara is an outsider in the body politic of Kenya. So we are not going to do things the way other politicians have done them. Number one, the government, that's the president giving a directive every month, said that political gatherings have been banned. So we as law-abiding citizens are going to adhere to that, which is why you have not seen us out there drawing crowds and putting Kenyans' lives at risk. What we focused more on is embracing technology and engaging with people via online platforms like this one that we are doing at the moment. So thank you very much, Cedrick. Now, that said, let us go back to the question of politicking. in church. Tumeambiwa kwamba wajinga waliisha Kenya.
Yeah.
But we know that politicians do not go to church to worship. They go there to make political noise. So, who is fooling who in this case? Is it the congregation that goes to worship in church? Is it the church leaders hoodwinking the politicians so they can bring their money and they can use it for development? Or is it the politician through the pulpit selling their agenda and gaining mileage for the next election? We all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So all Kenyans at this point, and Muslims would be absolved of it a bit because they do not allow for politicians to take over their pulpits, but all Christians need to repent because they in a way surrendered their holy spaces and places to politicians. And politicians have with wanton defiled those spaces. We need the church, which is why I laud what Archbishop Ole Sapit did last weekend.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church, the PCA churches did this some time ago. And I'm hoping that all other churches are going to follow suit because we have very many problems in Kenya. And we need the church to function properly because the church is our last port of refuge. So let's cleanse the churches. Let the churches serve the purpose for which they were created.
Yeah.
And let politicians adhere to the rule of law. Let us use whatever means that are available to reach to the people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Technology, I must say, is here with us and we can harness it to our benefit and advantage.
Thank you very much there. And you're saying that we have to harness technology, and that is what you have been using as TGN to make sure that you get to people everywhere and anywhere to sell your issues as a party. But one thing that I am seeing all of us are, or all of you are in agreement, is that there should be no politicking in church. And whether the politicians will follow that or not is up to them, because they will go to church. Some churches will allow them because they do much more than just going to church. And kuna wale wamesema pia they are elders in church and they have to be given the chance to speak. But what do they speak once they are given that chance? It's good both of you here have agreed to the point that no politicking in church. And I can see you have a point, just as we conclude, Mandela, kindly, briefly, because we have something more before we conclude, and I can see time is not really on our side.
Yes. Actually, I'm glad. I'm glad we are doing this, that we let places of worship to remain as such.
Yeah.
But the most important question we should ask is, why do we have to come and tell politicians that you don't have to politic here? Shouldn't it be automatic that people should know that a place of worship is a place to be revered? Do we have to come and warn people? When did we start tolerating them to the extent that you have to stop them? So to some extent, the church failed. Because if it has been a holy place, then why did it start in the first place? Yeah. So we are agreeing on that. And like the president, the aspiring president, Muthiora, said, it is high time the church should repent and go back to its ways. Because as it is, just stopping them is not enough. We must go back to the root cause of why we started entertaining them, to the extent that for us to deny the microphone becomes an issue. It should not be news that a politician has been denied a microphone to speak in a church event. It should come automatically that this is but by virtue that when it happens, it must be all over the mainstream media, means there is a problem and the church needs to retrace its roots.
Thank you. I have one last thing that I want us to talk about. Kindly,
Cedrick, just before you move to that last thing, 10 seconds. In as much as we have a lot of churches in Kenya,
Yes.
The truth is, Kenya is still very big. Politicians can utilize the space that is not the church. It will still be enough for them.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
the people who don't go to church are even more than the people who go to church. So
Exactly.
use common sense, tumtukuze Mungu na sehemu za maabudu zibaki kuwa za kuabudu.
Yes, actually, Cedrick, for 2 seconds, say 2 seconds. Like
we are all in agreement
the way
on that.
the way Mr. Muthiora is saying, those who don't go to church are more than those who go to church. The reason is those who don't go to church would want to come to church, but the things we are doing in church cannot attract them to come.
Thank you.
Yes.
And lastly, there is one thing that I wanted us, although let's kindly be brief, keep it as brief as possible. And this, I will start with you, Tisa. There has been a discussion going around about Mount Kenya and the deputy presidency. Although there have also been candidates from Mount Kenya who are saying that they are in the race as presidential candidates. And someone has gone to an extent of saying that they will not settle for anything less than having 40% share being brought to the table for Mount Kenya to be on their side. So, in this whole politics of having a Mount Kenya vice president and the wooing of Mount Kenya, where do you stand? Kindly, let's start with you, Moses Tisa.
Okay, 3 things. 1, Mount Kenya is like a girl today.
Yes.
A very beautiful lady that every suitor would want to pursue. And that's why you will see Raila Odinga in Mount Kenya. You will see Mudavadi in Mount Kenya. You will see Ruto in Mount Kenya. You will see all this running for presidential seat in Mount Kenya. The reason is so simple, because of the population and the number of votes in that part of the country.
Yes.
2, it is true that today as we speak, if election were to be held in Kenya and Mount Kenya is the country, then Ruto will carry the day, because majority of those who are from Mount Kenya believe that is the best choice. However, he will not get exact number of votes or the percent that they got in 2017. That would give Raila Odinga upper hand, because now for the DP to actually win election in this country, he should get more than 90% of the votes in that part of the country.
Yes.
3, I listened to Moses Kuria talking about what they want, the 40%, the number of CSS, ambassadors, and whatnot. Mount Kenya, again, are holding this county at ransom. And sometimes we even joke and say, if that is the case, let Mount Kenya produce president, deputy president, and opposition leader and have their own county, because Kenya is a county of so many communities that we cannot be able to have one community really telling us what to do, and they're forcing things that down our throats. Election will be here in 2022. And I know Kenyans are also awake. They know what they want, and they'll vote for the right leaders. Very last.
And someone will tell you that politics is a game of numbers. So someone can say what they want as long as they have the numbers.
Let me now be blunt, because I was trying not to be blunt, but I see Mandela trying to adjust his coat. Let me make him listen. You know, you ask Mandela a question of who is supporting and is trying to pretend. Now, let me now deal with Mandela. Kariara, just give me time now. Let me finish with this guy. We all know that in 2017, Raila Odinga won election. That is known by anybody who cares to know. And he won election without the support of Mount Kenya. Without that percentage, that 70 or 80%. He had that 20 or so percent, and they won election. And we know what happened. And Mandela, if you can go through his post before he joined Tanga to be going to Karen for soups every morning, Mandela would say the truth. The truth is that the guy won without a central support. What we need, those who are supporting Baba and those who are supporting Raila Odinga, is that we should have free and fair election. If you can have free and fair election in this country, where your vote counts, then Mount Kenya will have to come and beg. because then they will not be able to be bragging around and saying we have the number. Each and every community has the number. Lawyers have the number. Luos have the number. Kisis have the number. But the reason as to why Mount Kenya have been talking about them having the number is because the system has been for a long time siding with them. Let us go for free and fair election, and then we'll see who has the number. The very last, the election in this county should now be not about the tribes. The election in this country should now be about ideas. What is Ruto bringing on board that Kenyans are going to buy? What is Raila dangling in our faces? What is who else is running? Mudavadi is running, I think so. So what is Mudavadi dangling in our faces? What are these people bringing forward? What are they bringing to the political mortgage market? Are they bringing their tribes? If it is about tribe, then Kenya is going back to the same problem that they are running away from today. Today, as we speak, you can hear of Kenyans who are talking about, right now we are talking about the fuel. We say the price of fuel has gone up, and so Kenyans are crying. But they are forgetting that 2016, 2017, 2018, the very people they are now supporting to go and succeed Uhuru Kenyatta were quietly sitting and urging their MPs to pass the VAT, the 16% on the VAT tax. And they were very silent. Right now, they're telling us that they are mourning with us. You know, I watched today as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya holding a meeting in Karen with the MPs, holding the MPs and crying with them, instead of releasing these MPs to go to Parliament and be able to fix this problem. So we have pretenders.
Thank you very much. And I wanted to go to Muthiora Kariara, but I will save him for later because there are accusations you have made, and someone is supposed to have a right of reply to that. Kindly, our good lawyer, you can respond to what this has said, and also clear the air about you visiting some place for soup. Mandela, if you're there, I think we will have to go to Mandela will have to get back for his right of reply on that. But let me bring you into this discussion, Muthiora. We are having different parties arguing about how they are going to quote Mount Kenya. First of all, do you think these parties that are now having the monopoly of being able to speak to a huge number of Kenyans should be the ones and only options that Kenyans have to be elected for the presidency getting into 2022, and also address the issue about Mount Kenya?
Well, I believe in strong institutions, and Kenya being a multi-party democratic country, we should have very strong political parties. And these parties with proper structures should represent people's interests. But unfortunately, we know the tragedy that has befallen our country. So our parties lost the legitimacy to represent the people on that front.
Yeah.
We have seen leaders come and say they are speaking on behalf of a certain region. Question is, when was there an election conducted and they were elected to be representing those people? What I know is Moses Kuria was elected by the people of Gatundu South to go to Parliament and legislate on their behalf for national matters. Not in a single meeting did the Mount Kenya people come together and say this and that politician will now sit at the table and negotiate on our behalf. The closest that we came to that was when majority of Kenyans elected President Uhuru Kenyatta to speak on their behalf and on behalf of Kenya. So these people do not have the mandate to be speaking on behalf of a region, especially because we are a democratic country where when people come together and they vote, they will have their way. And the minority will have their say.
Thank
That
you.
said,
Yeah.
let us get into the 21st century where our voices need to count. We do not need someone to decide for us when our constitution speaks for our aspirations. If we implemented the 2010 constitution to the latter, we wouldn't need people to cut deals on behalf of a certain region. If we elected the right kind of a leader, they will devolve more than the 15% that's required by our constitution. They will release funds to go to the county government so that the trickle-down effect reaches that Mwananchi in far-flung Turkana and Marsabit. So what we need to do at this point is to turn around and ensure that when we get that chance in 2022, we elect leaders who have the future of Kenya at heart. People who are their brother's keeper and not interest keepers.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. We should look for people who have other people's interest at heart and not their own interest. And our good lawyer, Nelson Mandela, you have been accused of going somewhere and having soup. So kindly defend yourself and address this issue of Mount Kenya, kindly, and if you can be brief.
Yes, thank you, Cedrick. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, you see, Tisa likes comparing anything to a girl, but I don't blame him. But if you're comparing Mount Kenya to a beautiful girl, then you ought to understand that when you go for dowry negotiations, the parents can be very hard on you. So it's upon you to negotiate your way out. Yeah. You might be told 1 million and you came with 90,000. It's upon you to talk and tell them this is what we have. So give us your girl and then we'll give you 90,000. That said, Mount Kenya has a rich basket. It's one of the richest both basket in this country. So Moses Kuria coming and saying that we need at least 40% of the government, there is no issue. Nobody stops Moses Kajwang from Homa Bay from standing out and saying we need 30% of this government. It's an offer, counter offer. Let's have a negotiation. Let people agree. Agitate for what is good for your county. Because Moses Kuria is saying my county deserves 40%. I should be able to come and say bigger county needs 40% or Mulembe Nation needs 30%. So we cannot come and criticize Moses Kuria when we ourselves are okay with 1%. What do you want? So you cannot criticize what Moses Kuria has proposed and you're not telling us exactly what you want. It is what is stated. Yeah. So Mount Kenya is not so much entitled. Them saying they want 40% should not be able to hurt anybody. It's upon other people who are equal players to come forth and say, Mudavadi should come out with Wetangula, whoever with from Western Kenya and myself and say, our region should get at least 30% because of 1, 2, 3. Let Nyanza come and say we need 20% because of 1, 2, 3. And not when Mudavadi comes out and say we want 100% for Mulembe Nation. You criticize without having told us what you want. Right?
Yeah.
So Kenya is not entitled. It's politics. It's give and take. So if you want us to support you, and like I said, let me say this, Cedrick.
Yes.
Small rivers are the ones that join big rivers. Yes, I'm winding up. Small rivers are the ones that join big rivers. Mount Kenya is one of the biggest rivers in this country. So every other person yearning to be president, let Moses Tisa not tell you that Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga won in 2017 without Mount Kenya. That is he's acting like a lover who is in denial because he can't get. He's saying it's not important. You remember the proverbial Sungura and Mizabibu. When the Sungura could not get and the plaques, the Mizabibu said, "Ata sio tamu." So he cannot say Raila Odinga won in 2017 without Mount Kenya, because what we understand, right now we are not talking about regions. We are talking about policies, and I like what Muthiora said. Let's talk about issues. Let political parties come with agendas for the people, and not somebody coming forth and saying, I have 15 million, I have 4 million votes from my region. What we are going to assure Kenyans, and what we are going to assure politicians like Moses Tisa, who still delving in the past, that the 2022 contest is not going to be about regions and votes. It's going to be about policies and what is good for a common mwananchi. And that is what Muthiora is saying. Let's agree that this is what I'm bringing forth, not because my region has 40. Let me go to Nyanza and sell my policies and be able to get my votes there. Let me go to Mount Kenya, not to say this is a region that is predominantly voting for this party. This is a region that is for Raila Odinga. This is a region for Mudavadi. I can tell you, in 2022, we're going to debunk that myth, and we're going to have people voting on ideas, and they're going to do away with regional kingpins. Let Western Kenya say what they want. Let Mount Kenya say what they want. Let Coast say what they want. We have a cake. We share equally. Make your proposal. I make my counter proposal. We agree. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. Although you did not deny or accept the fact that of what you are accused, we shall go ahead. Let me just take you through Tisa, kindly, just for a minute. Let me take you through the comments of what people are saying. The comments are so many, I cannot get through all of them. Then I'll come for your last take because I can see our time is over. But we can come back for another session another day that can be organized. We have very many people have tuned into the show. Ouma Josephat Nunda there, superb, is tuned from Kisumu Dala. Thank you very much. We have Kennedy Francis Masomi. He's saying that majority have their way, minority have their say. What a saying, hilarious discourse. Honorable Muthiora Kariara. This show should be more often. Hii uchambuzi ni ya manufaa. Yeah, we will make a point of having these political discussions more often. Thank you very much. Agreement there from Don Jaka. Lovely show. Amzil is tuned in. And someone is saying that Tisa came here for Mandela. I don't know what he means. Thank you very much for all those of you who have tuned into the show. And Shirukimi anasema Wakenya ni wale wale. Mtasema tu, lakini handouts zikitoka wataenda kukaribisha politicians in church, saying that provided someone has given something, they will be received and given the podium. Even our church leaders are political. It is hypocritical to stop politicians from using the churches as the platform to woo voters, while our leaders are clearly affiliated to them. So there is a point there about our church leaders being affiliated to some politicians, and it's not actually, it's their constitutional right, but not to the extent that it has to affect their churches. They have to differentiate between their personal choice of leaders and what happens in church, I think, from my perspective. And politics should be kept out of the house of God, period. Church leaders are also faulty because they accept handouts to allow the politicians corrupt pulpits with so I don't know if they are saying that people in church should not take the money which politicians come with. Hata hizi kanisa zishakuwa biashara zone. They are from Alex Onsase. Wellington Katera is saying that true politics should be put away from church because they always create it for political purposes or but saa zingine, the church needs these politicians. You haven't explained how the church needs the politicians. Why are we sidelining this issue? Sasa siku hizi ndio tunagundua churches ni place of worship. There are so many comments coming through. How can churches keep politicians away from the pulpits, yet they need them for harambe? Atakupea pesa aje na akose.
I want to answer that.
Na pesa yake umempa. Yeah, briefly, kindly, Tisa, a few seconds, just a few seconds.
A few seconds, and I won't take much. Thank you very much. Christians are the most gullible lords in Kenya. The most gullible lords in Kenya are Christians. A politician steals from the public coffers, walks in there, give them money, say Jesus and whatnot, mention the name of God and Jesus, and then that politician is loved. That is actually how low we have sunk. So if we can be able to realize that these people are coming just to drink us into voting for them to continue looting, the better. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that contribution. And I think because the comments are many, I shall just be playing them as you give your last take. So kindly, I will begin with you, Muthiora Kariara, your last take, and tell people how they can get, if they are at all interested in TGN Party, how can they access your information and how you share your issues. Kindly, Muthiora, as your parting shot.
Well, something historic happened today. A former cabinet secretary was convicted. Yes, he may not have been granted a very punitive sentence, but at least a case was concluded. And Honorable Wario, though he may be free because he paid the fine, he's ultimately shown us that the long arm of the law can catch up with anyone in this country. In the same story, there is Wahiga Mwaura, who is a famous TV presenter who's mentioned to have turned down an offer to make an extra dollar. So as much as we say that Kenya is rotten and is not redeemable, at least in our generation, I want to tell Kenyans that it's possible for us to turn around. It's possible for us to dream of a better Kenya, a different Kenya, a great Kenya where anyone that's willing to work hard has a chance to live the life they deserve. So let's keep believing. Follow us on www.tgn.co.ke. We have a program that we run every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. called The Great Hour. Come, engage us and see what the TGN Party is about. And you'll realize that the dream of a great Kenya is not that far-fetched. Thank you, Cedrick, for having me today.
Thank you very much, Muthiora Kariara, for making...
And the panel, you've been very awesome. Even though I can clearly tell I have a lot of work to do in order to win TISA to our side. But I know eventually we will, because he knows what the problem is.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have won Mandela. So Mandela, give us your parting shot because we are actually running out of time, kindly.
Carry on.
Yes. Thank you so much, Cedrick. I hope I can be heard.
Yeah, clear.
Am I clear? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Kindly get on with it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for having us here. It has been a great team. Muthiora, you are a great leader. You are some of the people that this country needs. And we wish you the very best in your case to be the president of this republic. You can become the president. And we, as we agree, we are going to sell policies of our tribe. We are going to sell agenda over regions. We are going to sell character over political kingpins. What I can tell Kenyans right now is that avoiding political discussion is a political decision in itself. You cannot say, I will not vote. If you fail to vote, you'll have voted for the person you didn't want to vote for. It's a high time that you all have to make our decisions. And we cannot at any point say we want to avoid politics because politics rule our day-to-day lives. In as much as we don't want to take politics to the church, we remain Christians, but also, even the Bible says, rule, people rejoice. So we want to have people of integrity. We want to have righteous people ruling, but we equally want to make sure that the church retraces back to where it belongs. As I can promise you, and as Muthiora says, let us embrace technology. In my political ambitions and my aspiration to become somebody in this country, of which we'll be announcing soon, even Moses Tisa there, we want to assure Kenyans that for us, at least we are woke enough to understand that church remains to be a place of worship that should not be defiled. And the bishops who failed and who've been embracing this and who've made the church to look bad should retrace back and repent and apologize to Kenyans. And we start from here. And therefore, this the parting shot I have for the country. It may not look like it will come tomorrow, but ultimately we'll get there. Hang in there and make the right decision. It's not for the youth. It's not for the elderly. It is for the rest, all of us, as a nation, as the citizens of this country, to come up with an agenda that will salvage us from the shackles we've been suffering since independence. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, our good lawyer there, Nelson Mandela. He is always on time to reach onto the show whenever we call him.
I can't say something.
We are having, I was bringing you on board.
Okay.
We are having you here for your parting shot. Kindly,
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very loud and clear.
I'm also very happy, and actually it was a very good debate. Mandela is saying that he wants to be somebody. He is somebody already. Mandela, you're a great person. Somebody who goes to Karen for breakfast in the morning and supper in the evening. You are a great person. Having said that, Kariara, you are a powerful man, and we support you. You have invited me to your party. I don't know whether it's a party or a circle, because this is the first time I'm hearing of this organization. Can you please come out and tell us about this organization, whether it's a party or a circle, what it stands for? We will support you. We will want to be part of a team that is going to change this country. Thank you. The very last, guys. Let us stand for what is good. We are the youth, and we can bring change in this country. The change that we are really looking for is in our hand. If you can be able to use our votes wisely, our influence wisely, and media nowadays has become a platform where we can be able to engage freely and wisely, we can turn this country around. We should not be seen as those who are running for handout, beggars, and whatnot. We can also take a stand and bring this country and take this country to the next level. Right now, as we speak, we are going to 2022 election. Let peace prevail. Let us not be divided by party politics, where we come from and what we do. We can have different opinions, but we still remain Kenyans. We have more that unite us than which divides us. Thank you so much.
Wow, yeah, that is a very...
I noticed it doesn't take any hard substance, but it's always high. I fail to understand. It doesn't take any hard substance, but it's always high.
Thank you.
But we can hardly say it's proper, so we pardon him.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you, for tuning into this discussion. And Tita has ended there on a very good note, saying that what unites us is more than that which divides us. That's a very good note to end this discussion. But as you leave, kindly subscribe to the Alternative Voice. If you have advertisements, please get into our inbox and let us know so that we can play your advertisements during our shows. Thank you very much, all of you. Very many of you have tuned into the show tonight, and I am very thankful for all of you for tuning into the show. Kindly subscribe to the Alternative Voice.
Please do not lock us out just yet.
And follow our platforms. Thank you very much.
Just one thing before you put the full stop.
We are finishing up. Yes? Kariara, kindly. Yeah, can you kindly proceed, please?
Yes. Mafuta yamepanda bei. Sisi tunasema bei ya mafuta lazima ishuke. Na hili ni ombi kwa Wakenya wote. Do the right thing. Let your voice be heard this time round. Stand up and be counted.
Thank you.
Tupigane na hawa mabepari ambao wanatukandamiza kwa kupandisha bei ya mafuta, manake bei ya kila kitu itapanda. Ukikimya hivyo ndo umenyongwa. Wakenya kataeni.
Aya, Wakenya mmeambiwa. Asanteni sana. And thank you very much. It has been an awesome discussion. We have actually gone beyond the time we expected. I hope we shall all create time for another discussion another time. Thank you, all of you, and see you next Thursday. Thank you for tuning in to Trends KE. My name is KK Cedrick.
It's Trends O'Clock. This is Trends KE with KK Cedrick.